Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any of our upcoming emotional roller coasters. In our last episode, with CEO James's unwavering support, Diep was exonerated from all false accusations. Her dignity restored, she bravely embarked on a new chapter, joining James's company as a factory worker, though she had no idea whose business it truly was. Today's story picks up at this very turning point. It was Diep's first day on the job. She awoke before sunrise, eager to leave behind the shadows of her past and embrace a fresh beginning. Arriving at the factory, she threw herself into work, completely unaware that the man she owed so much to, James, was the owner of the company. But fate had more in store that morning. As she struggled to organize a cumbersome stack of timber, she spotted a familiar silhouette approaching. It was James. The shock of seeing him threw her off balance. In that moment of panic, a cart full of wood tipped, collapsing onto her leg. James rushed forward instinctively, concern written all over his face. But Diep, flooded with conflicting emotions, scrambled to escape. She fled the scene, leaving behind not just her sandal, but also the protective walls around her heart. James, undeterred, chased after her to return the shoe. In a twist of fate, the two collided and tumbled to the ground. Time seemed to stop. As James accidentally brushed against her cheek, both froze, stunned by the electricity of the moment. It was awkward. It was unexpected, but it stirred something undeniable. Diep reacted with panic, shoving him away and delivering a startled slap. James, still composed, gently tossed the forgotten sandal toward her. She turned and walked off, heart pounding with a mix of confusion, embarrassment. And something else, something just beginning to bloom. Later that day, Diep retreated to a quiet stream, a place where she often sought peace amidst turmoil. As the water flowed calmly, she let her thoughts drift. But once again, James appeared, this time without a trace of urgency. "I mean no harm," he said softly, approaching her with sincerity. "I just want to talk." He sat beside her, and the space between them, though still tentative, felt far less distant than before. James asked gently, "Why was your home destroyed?" Diep hesitated but then found the strength to share her truth. She spoke of her mother-in-law, the false accusation about the stolen land papers, the betrayal that left her homeless, and the humiliation of being sold as a wife in her youth. James listened in silence, absorbing each painful word. When she finished, his voice was calm and reassuring. "I already looked into it," he said. "It wasn't you. Linda was the thief. You're safe now." The police won't come after you. And then, with empathy in his eyes, he added, I know what you went through. Being treated like property, like you were disposable. That's not your fault. You deserve better. The words struck Deep. For the first time in years, Deep felt truly seen. Her eyes shimmered with tears. She tried to say thank you, but her emotions made it hard to speak. James gently patted her shoulder. You don't have to thank me, he said. I'm just doing what's right. Later that evening, James quietly visited a long-abandoned house once used by workers on his plantation. He swept the floors, scrubbed the windows, and even bought new clothes and kitchen supplies. This wasn't something a CEO typically did, but James was no ordinary man. For Deep, he wanted to create more than shelter, he wanted to give her a home. When he brought her to the freshly prepared house, Deep was overwhelmed. It wasn't lavish, but it was warm, clean, and full of care. She could barely contain her gratitude. While she made herself comfortable, James stepped into the kitchen and began preparing dinner. He handed her the new clothes and asked her to take a shower, a small gesture that signaled a larger truth. This was a reset, a new beginning. They sat down to eat a quiet, heartfelt meal. There was no pretense, only peace. For Deep, it felt like family, something she hadn't felt in a long time. The next morning, Deep woke early, energized and hopeful. She tidied the house and tended the garden with a new sense of purpose. Soon, James arrived again, this time with breakfast, and even a pomelo he had peeled with his own hands. The gesture, so small and yet so personal, moved deeply. They spent the morning planting vegetables. James, inexperienced in manual work, bumbled through every step, and Deep couldn't help but laugh, not in mockery, but in light-hearted joy. Under the soft morning sun, the two worked together, exchanging glances that hinted at something unspoken, something tender and growing. But their quiet happiness wouldn't go unchallenged. Elsewhere, Deep's ex-husband, still lost in a haze of alcohol, was consumed by thoughts of reclaiming her, not out of love, but control. His twisted mind and vengeful mother rekindled a cruel idea: to drag Deep back into bondage, to once again make her live like a buffalo, obedient and broken. That night, James returned once more, not out of obligation, but with the quiet desire to be near her. They grilled meat together, their conversation soft and full of comfort. Beneath the flickering light of the fire, their shadows danced like a couple on the edge of something magical. A love story was quietly unfolding, fragile yet filled with promise. But will their growing connection survive the storm that looms? Or will Deep be pulled back into the darkness she fought so hard to escape? Stay tuned for the next chapter. Bye for now, and don't forget to subscribe.